Yo guys, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are training our 42 minutes of chess as usual, so let me add an extra couple minutes to make sure I am training enough. Oh my god. Wait. Okay, I'm messing this up. There we go. Okay, let's get into it. So, what to do today? I think let's just keep going with the woodpecker method. I mean, you know, we basically, I want to get to at least 300 exercises, and soon I'm going to be taking that 1 week break when I go to Turkey. So I want to get as many of these variations done as possible. So let's keep learning and let's keep going. So I hope you guys are doing well. And yeah, another boring woodpecker method stream today. And oh, this is a nice one. This is knight e7. Sack the queen and then give a mate. Unless I'm missing some detail, looks good. Yep. So this is Anastasia's mate. Never comes up, but when it does come up, you don't want to miss it. So that's good. My instinct would be to give a check here because this is a mate, right? But if we give a check, they can also move the king. And then what? Because our rook on a1 is hanging as well, right? So how do we play that? Even just rook e1, it looks like it's a promising attack, but maybe we can do better. I mean, the only other move I was really considering is this queen c4, but I don't really understand what it does. I mean, maybe one move we can play is while we've got the rook on e1, play the move rook b1, which actually just blunders, so don't do that. I was thinking if we can like kick away the queen and then play for this might be like a better way to do it. I mean, if I was playing a game, I would play this and then just bring the other rook to e1 and just say that like that's good enough. I don't know. I can't really see any other ideas, so I think let's just go for it. Alternative, huh? So there actually is another good move. Oh god. scratching my ear and Neville. I don't know. Yo Shay, what is up? How is Liverpool looking? Is it as gorgeous as ever? You know Liverpool's my favorite city in the UK. I absolutely love Liverpool. I think it's so underrated. Like for some reason you don't hear anyone ever talk about Liverpool, but I think it's a really nice city. I actually have no idea. That's rare for someone to say. I don't get it. I don't get what's the problem with Liverpool. Like, it always seems really vibrant, but also not like too overcrowded. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot to do. It's very cheap as well. I also like all of the modern developments, I guess, and feels like it's got a lot of culture. That it's some poverty-stricken city. I don't get that impression. Maybe I was just in the good areas, and not to mention, it's got the most beautiful library in the whole world, right? Like that Liverpool Central Library, that dome inside. I don't know what they call it, but yeah, that's genuinely the most beautiful library I've ever been in. And the fact that you can even walk around the edges, like it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's just completely free to walk into and just use by the public. It's such a cool place. Oh god, I have no idea what the answer is. Maybe rook d1. Is that actually interesting? Because if they take, then we can go check. Ah, I didn't see this move at all. That feels like it could be the answer. If rook f8, what there? Maybe then check, king h8, and do we have a follow-up? Maybe we can just take the bishop because they can't take because of mate. Yeah, this rook d1 feels really strong. Yeah, and let's try this. And probably take. Nice, okay, we got there. I think it's because in the 80s and 90s the city wasn't doing too well and people still think it's the same. Right. That's fair. I mean, it's similar to the reason why a lot of like adults, like our parents kind of generation, they're like really skeptical about like visiting the Balkans, like Serbia or Bosnia, because they still think it's like some war-ridden country. And in the 90s it was, right? But it's completely fine now and just a really great place to go visit. So, yeah. Rook e8 eventually wins a piece, but the variations are complicated after queen a2. Huh. If you saw a line of h4... Yeah, no, I didn't see any of this. No way. Yeah, fair enough. So rook d1's definitely the easier way to do it. That was a hard one, rook d1. But okay, I guess this is the point, right? Like we're practicing patterns that we wouldn't typically spot, so this is good. Knight g2 if king takes would be really bad because then we've got queen check, king in the corner, and then bishop check, bishop takes queen mate, right? But after here, they can always take with the bishop. And then what? And even this move is not very forcing, is it? So we can probably do a lot better. Yo, Path, what's up? How's it going? How is chess? How is life? Path, I feel like you've joined the stream like maybe a couple times? Unless I'm getting confused with a different Path. But I definitely recognize your name, I think. Yeah, how's it going? We're just basically training this woodpecker, trying to solve some exercises. We're on the intermediate puzzles now, which are actually very difficult for me. But it's good. A move in a game I would probably play is like something like this, which would just probably lose actually, so maybe not that. No, it doesn't work. I was thinking like maybe some clever like checkmate like this, but the queen will always be able to block. I don't know. Knight takes g2, bishop takes g2 seems good enough, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not seeing this. So okay, let's try and evaluate the position first. So we've got bishop and knight against rook. We have the bishop pair. Okay, we have bishop and knight versus rook and a pawn, right? So I'd say we want to keep as many pieces on the board as possible. Maybe they've got some back rank issues. So how do we exploit all of this? I also really like my bishop on b6, cutting off this king, right? So feels like we definitely have some kind of attack. We need to find the right way to make it work. Knight g2 can be met with bishop g2. Do we have any checks? No. Do we have any captures? Other captures? Bishop, queen takes c6 looks crazy. Maybe let's turn this down a bit. There we go. I have a rapid tournament this weekend. Have you got any tips? Ooh, Shay, good luck. Where is the tournament actually? Is it in Liverpool? I'm guessing it is. But yeah, what I would say is, try and play as much online chess in the build up to the tournament just to get sharp. I mean, I think like just playing a lot online is probably the biggest factor, because actually, if you remember, I played in the British Rapid Play, and I did like a big like checklist of things I want to do to like bring to the tournament and get in the right mindset and stuff. And this was all well and good, but I still had a pretty bad tournament because I think in the week prior, I basically didn't play any online chess because I was just too busy. So I think like to be sharp and play a lot of online chess and practice whatever time control you're going to play. Like if let's say you're playing 10 minutes plus 5, play a lot of 3 plus 2 or something. Like play with increment. Don't just try and play like 3-0 or 5-0 or something. Like try and practice similar to the event. It's in Warrington, pretty much in between Liverpool and Manchester, I see. Cool. Life's tough. Hope you're having a good day. I've been on the stream sometimes. I see, Puff. Life's tough. That's sad to hear. But yeah, I mean, life is tough. Life is generally very tough. Very tough. I mean, we all need to one day live like this monk. I heard about this monk in India who basically spends half his day like meditating and half his day just like playing and studying chess. Can we play knight h3? Thank you for the comments, Sorrow. Knight h3. Oh, so they can't take the bishop because of knight f2. Knight h3. They can't take the knight because of bishop f3. Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, I for some reason could not see this move. I mean, I looked at takes. I looked at knight e2. This move just didn't jump out at me, which is kind of bad. It makes sense. Maybe I just subconsciously thought my bishop hangs and just was like, that doesn't make sense. But then why would I then suggest this without bishop g4? So I think knight h3 looks really good. I think that's a great move. A great find. I'm trying to refute the idea. Maybe like rook f1 or something. But at the very least, you can play knight f2 anyway. And they probably don't want to give up an exchange. Yeah, and if king here, we can always play knight check. And then if the king moves, we pick up the rook on f1 with our queen. So yeah, I think knight h3 is it. Very nice. Oh, and you know what? Just for you, Sorrow, let's play queen f3. They won't allow it. That's annoying. That's annoying. Yeah, with more flair. Exactly. Beautiful. Oh, in Manchester, actually. That's topical. Do you use a separate repertoire for Rapid and Blitz? I kind of do. Basically, I think you can get away with openings that are more objectively dubious. So definitely, if there's any openings that's kind of suit your style, but you feel like it's not really playable at classical kind of time controls, make the most of it in Blitz and Rapid, because yeah, your opponents aren't going to be able to find the refutation unless they're like extremely well versed in that variation, and the chances of that are probably quite slim. So I think you can get away with it. I mean, top players are doing this as well, like with their preparation, like finding like really interesting lines that probably can be refuted in classical time control but can't be refuted in Rapid. But I'd also say, like, make sure you don't prepare something that you don't know as well. Like, if you're playing something boring in classical, but you know it really well, just play it in Rapid as well. Like, it's gonna be better. Like, having as much intuition in the positions as possible is gonna be an important thing. Knight f5 hits the knight, right? And where can the knight move? I guess they can retreat. Looks alright. So maybe it's a move order thing. I always get the move order wrong here, but yeah, this knight f5 now and then pick up the knight. This looks better. I like the look of that. What's your FIDE rating, mate? My FIDE rating is currently at 1961, I believe, and it's a bit below my peak of 2000. And my online ratings are 2500 now. But it just proves that you can have really bad tactics and be able to play good chess still. But definitely, it's something I'm trying to improve on. How about yourself, Sorry? Is this your first time joining the stream? I don't recognize your name. And whereabouts are you from? Like, you've got a funky name. And do any of your friends call you Hero? Because Hirojit is quite a cool surname, I have to admit. But okay, what to do here? My impression would be just to take on f2 and basically just play with this very strong knight on f5. This feels like it's more than enough, but maybe we can do better. Like, I'm looking at this queen d4 move, but then the knight can always move away or something. I don't know. I mean, the knight is kind of trapped, right? It would be great if we could like move the queen somewhere and then like follow up taking later. But that feels like it all transposes. I don't know what the difference is. There's probably a really nice move here, actually. That's the impression I'm getting. In a game, I'd probably just take on f2, but yeah, I don't know. Alternative. So maybe it is queen h5. Maybe this is just a nice. But then if queen h5, you allow like moves like knight e4. I don't know if I want to allow that. But then you can take with the rook. I don't know. If queen d4, knight g4. Do we have a good square for the bishop? I don't really know. Maybe we can just play knight f5 there. Maybe that's good as well. Let's try it. Okay. Yeah, so interesting. Let's see this discussion. First time from India. Okay. Welcome to the stream. 25 online, too good for 1900 FIDE. Wow. Yeah. 2300 Lichess Rapid, 1600 FIDE. Okay, yeah, so you're in the same boat. Like a FIDE Rapid, FIDE rating that's needing to catch up. Yeah, I hopefully will never have to play you in a tournament, because that sounds terrifying. I mean, my worst experience recently was I played a 24 to 2500 Rapid who had 1400 FIDE. And this was like just before the rating increase, and we ended up drawing, and yeah, I lost a bunch of points for that game. Actually so annoying. But yeah, how did you find the stream, by the way? Have you watched some Chess Lifestyle before? But yeah, retaining the bishop for the black knight leaves black with a weak king to take care of. Right, that makes a lot of sense. So if king f2 takes on g7 and queen d4 as the follow-up, right. Well, white can take on a7. Oh dear. However, the pawn is not the main thing he's achieved, but instead the tremendous difference between the minor pieces, right? This very strong knight against the black bishop. Black managed to turn the game around and win, which would have been less likely if white had found the strongest second move of preserving the bishop with queen d4. Interesting. Yeah, I guess in a way you still get the strong knight on f5, and the knight feels a bit clumsy on g4. Yeah, interesting. Okay, let's keep going. So we've got a Rubinstein against Lasker game. What's going on here? So we can literally just take a rook, but I guess if queen takes king h1, maybe there's some initiative here? Like black is a bishop and a pawn for rook, plus initiative. Maybe that's like a little bit concerning. So is there a way we can like finesse this somehow? Like, I don't know. I was thinking like d5, but that's probably not so good. Yeah, so actually, sorry if you're new here. Just to let you know, the reason for the 42 minutes of training is I am training as many minutes, training as many seconds that I have subscribers. So I've got like 2,500 subs, which equates to 42 minutes, or like some ridiculous number of 2,507 seconds, which is 42 minutes, right? So this is the idea. So the more the channel grows, the more I have to train, which I've been doing for the past 100 days or so. And the whole point as well was to try and get monetized on YouTube as well, because I needed the watch hours, and we managed to achieve that. So now we're just training and trying to get good. And I've basically got a couple tournaments in the summer, which I'm looking forward to. Oh, I don't see this. Don't see this at all. Takes on e3, takes back. Is the point that we want to play rook f2 or something? Feels really odd. King h1 feels much better. And they take on d4 with the rook. I mean, maybe there's an argument to say that the queen doesn't have a good square in that resulting position, so maybe you'd want to play with the rook, so that on rook takes you can play queen f1. I don't know. I don't know at all. But surely you can still move the queen somewhere. Or is it really lost? Is it really lost this position, right? If you allow this and you play queen c2, maybe rook d2 is winning. You've got like queen f5 check there. What happens there? King b8. Definitely looks a bit tricky, so maybe that's the point. We want to defend our second rank. I think that might be it. I mean, I looked at rook c6, I just didn't think it did anything. Rook c6, pawn c6. Takes on e3, queen e3, king h1, takes on d4. What? We just down an exchange for no reason. Oh my god. Guys, I need assistance from the chat. I have no idea. Oh, the idea must be queen c1. Wow. Takes the pawn queen c1. It's such a dirty move. It's so nice as well. Rubinstein, you legend. Probably Lasker completely missed this. And okay, let's actually get this right. I guess take with the pawn? I mean, I kind of missed this move actually, as a... Because if we take on c6 and they go king b8, I don't really see. I guess let's take with the pawn. Yeah. And what, we take on f7 and we say... We have a pawn up in this endgame, and that's better than the previous situation. Huh. So, in this starting position... Oh my god, that was checkmate in one. Oh god. This is why it's so important to play structures that you know. That was checkmate in one the whole time. Queen takes g2. I didn't see that. Oh, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I literally didn't see that. So, this is what I mean. Like, I play a lot of fianchetto structures, so I'm not so used to it in this sense. And then at the same time, I play like some Caro-Kann in London recently, and I just feel like I'm not having to deal with this kind of bullshit. Oh my god, this is Queen g2. This is okay, Shay. You asked for my advice before playing a rapid tournament. This is why you need as much practice online, just to get out from these kind of mishaps. I can see a way to win a pawn here. Again, tactics that don't involve the king, 100 times easier. How do we feel about this resulting position, though? Did everyone else see the checkmate or what? 3 4 5, 3 4 5 6. Okay, so white's upper pawn. So we can basically equalize the material if we take on e2. Oh, can we actually do better? We can take and then give rook b8, b1 check, right? And then if the king moves, then we can actually take. And that looks even better. I mean, if king f3, then we can take and even check and then pick up this pawn, and this definitely should be good. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think this check is useful. Nice. Ah, but to be fair, if the king takes and we go rook b2 check, they can play rook d2. I didn't evaluate that correctly. So if king takes e2, rook b2 was the move in the book, but it allows white's rook to stay active. King f3, rook a2 and e5, rook a3 check, takes on e5, and apparently decent drawing chances. So in this position, it's better to actually activate your rook this way. That does make sense, hitting both pawns. And we get the same position, but black is winning because the rook is slightly better placed. That's really difficult to see. But I guess in the starting position, you didn't really have much choice but to go into this and enter this rook endgame. So at least we saw that much. But yeah, this is rough. This is rough. Oh man, I can't believe I blundered mate in one. Okay, so still more Laska. I feel like whenever we get to the Laska exercises in the Woodpecker, because they do it chronologically in terms of world champions, I really struggle with finding Laska's moves. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like his openings or something. Like just, I mean, I always thought that Laska would be similar to my style, but I'm so hopeless at finding these moves. So okay, what's going on here? We've got pawn down. Rook on h6 is hanging except for the rook on g2 pins the pawn. I actually have no idea. Like, what even is this position? How did we get here? Why is the bishop on b7 looking so miserable? Like, what is going on? This is why I genuinely think that chess is easier than chess puzzles. Like it's easier to play a decent game of chess than to do this. Like, alright, let's go step by step. So any checks? We got rook takes f1, queen f1, and then what? Is there anything there at all? Don't think there's anything there. So in that case, do we have any captures? We can capture on e5 or on d4. Ah, capturing on e5 might be interesting, right? If they take back with the pawn, maybe we push d4 and we pin this rook. And if they, like, I don't know, take the pawn or something, then we can take on g2, take on h6, right? So if we take on e5 and they take back and we push d4, let's say they move the rook somewhere, well, then we can win the bishop. So I think taking on e5 is the answer. Okay, there we go. So you just have to follow the basics. You've just got to consider your forcing moves. Knight e5, d5, d4. Fantastic, Josh. Great find. I think you got it just before me. I saw something pop up in chat, but I didn't read it, of course. But yeah. The game continued knight g3, and white won. Oh. But this was still good. And I guess Lasker just couldn't find his way through. But yeah. I guess rook h8 is a big threat. But knight defends h7, so no worries. Right. There's a useful little sentence which goes, knight on f8, there's no mate. So yeah, this is knight on f8 is often a really great piece that holds everything together. Also, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well, Josh. Right. So what to do here? I really want to get to 290, getting close to that 300 mark. I can actually feel my brain hurting from like trying to solve these, like, which is kind of bad, right? Like these are supposed to be intermediate, but whatever. Okay. So materials equal. We've got these two bishops lined up against their king. What candidate moves do we have? So checks, we can consider bishop takes h7. Captures, bishop takes h7, bishop takes c5, surely not. Threats, we can play queen h5. This looks good, I guess. So I don't know, are these my candidates? Queen h5, bishop h7? That's basically it. I mean, maybe it could be something to do with like this open d-file. Like the rook is on the line of a queen as well. Maybe that could be a factor. So okay, let's look at this bishop h7. If bishop h7, king h7, queen h5, king g8, what have we achieved? Nothing. Queen h5, let's say they block, I don't know, g6 or something. Actually, that's quite annoying. I don't know. Again, not my style of chess. Not my style of chess. Man, I probably wouldn't be a chess player right now if I had to play out these kind of positions. Like, I actually can't. I don't like defending them. I don't like attacking them. But that is the nice thing about chess. Like, you don't have to play to one particular style. You can get away with, like, tailoring the game in many in many different styles and ways to play. I don't really see anything else that's like vulnerable here. Yeah, I don't really see any candidate moves. Any other candidate moves? Ah, man. I see some messages in chat. I'm gonna try my best not to look. Try and just solve this myself. I have no idea. I'm starting to look at ideas like maybe bishop b1 with the idea to play like queen c2 or something. Feels kind of slow. Oh, bishop h7, king h7, queen d3 check picks up the knight. I wish I could just see these faster, and I don't know how I'm ever gonna improve on this. Like, I mean, literally, like, how quick did you guys find this? I don't see anything after queen h5, g6, and starting with bishop takes h7 doesn't seem to do anything either. I want to put pressure on the d7 knight. Right, Josh? So, I mean, both of us had, like, the seeds to, like, you know, find this tactic, and yet neither of us found it. Like, okay, I found it eventually, but... Oh, God. That's so annoying. I think maybe if I'd worked harder to appreciate that the knight was, like, kind of, like, one move away from hanging. In the sense that the rook pressured it. I kind of like felt like it was weak because of a pin, as opposed to it being weak because it's only defended once. So, yeah, I saw the two factors but didn't combine them. I'm an idiot. It's tough, man. It's tough. Like, I think that's why like doing these exercises are good though, right? Like the idea is that you see it once, and I mean, I'm gonna be doing this whole set, you know, like 4 or 5 more times. So hopefully by the 5th time, if this kind of theme comes up in a game, I have more chance of finding it. That's the dream, right? That's the hope. Now, interestingly, knight f6, if king takes, I feel like bishop check is like really strong. Right? Because then they can't go back, and then this would actually be a checkmate, right? So does knight f6 threaten anything or not? Unfortunately, I feel like it doesn't do anything. All my days. I think I'm just tired every day. I can't even blame this being a late stream or something. Oh god, I'm actually counting down the minutes to stop training. I actually hate doing this woodpecker. I hate using my brain. I think that's what it comes down to. Like, I like using my brain to solve intricate problems that aren't tactical. I hate tactics. I just hate tactics so much. I think if chess was just a game where you had to basically, you know, find the right plan, find the right play, and then as soon as you reach a position where you have a winning tactic and you can just click a button that just like makes the tactic happen, then I would be like, I reckon I could be FM already. Actually, no, that's too that's too bold of a statement. Probably wouldn't even be FM. But I'd definitely be stronger, right? I'd be definitely stronger. I didn't have to work this all out myself. God. Knight f6 does open up the idea of like queen f4 kind of ideas. Or maybe like you take on h6 and then queen f4 kind of stuff. I mean, like if we had two moves here and we could play this, I feel like g5 might be quite interesting as well. My problem with playing like some move like queen c3 or bishop d4 immediately is that I'm a bit scared of this f6 move. Or maybe they even just go back, right? If they go back though, then knight f6 is really strong, right? So maybe they take once and play f6. So what do we do? I'm looking at this idea of queen c1, king g7, and then some kind of something. I mean, queen c3, f6, bishop h6 also looks very promising. Okay, I'm not solving this properly. I'm not making my candidate moves. I'm not understanding anything. Okay, let's try and do this properly. So I have an isolated d pawn. I probably want to just try and go for the attack. Candidate moves. I've got queen c3 check. I've got bishop h6 check. I can also take on b6, but that feels very wrong. In terms of threats, maybe we've got g5. Maybe even queen c1 immediately. I don't know, so many candidates, right? And only one that works. Knight f6, of course, as well. So if queen c3 check, if they just block f6, do we have any follow-up there? Don't think so. Bishop d4 check. May just take one to play f6. Don't really feel like that's gonna be GG. So bishop h6, king h6. Like, there are some players who can just look at this and see the answer. That's that's my issue. That's my issue. Knight f6 just doesn't threaten enough. It just doesn't threaten enough. They don't have to take it. If I was playing a game right now, what would I play? I'd probably play rook a d1. And just, I don't know, find a tactic another day. I guess maybe rook a d1, the problem is they take on e3, but then that even opens up the f-file. I feel like that's promising as well. Oh man, I don't know. Like, to me, it almost feels unnecessary to, like, just play a tactic here, because, like, the rook's still on a1, like, improve the position more fast, and it doesn't feel like black is unraveling anytime soon. That position looks horrendous. I don't know, maybe g5 as well looks like kind of a tempting move to make. Maybe g5 is really good. Then you control f6, right? If you play g5 and they play h5, then bishop d4 stuff is going to be even stronger. So maybe g5 is just really clean. The problem is it allows knight f5. Maybe knight f5 is quite strong. Maybe knight f5 is quite strong there. g5, knight f5. Maybe take on h6. Knight takes. Oh god. I'm actually reaching my limit in terms of like brain capacity. Like oh god. This is genuinely a workout. I feel like I'm doing the little, like, I don't know, muscle reps in my brain going. Ah, god. But there is something like it's such a weird feeling. It's something like rewarding about doing this. I mean, I think every chess player is a bit masochistic. It feels good to train, but also I hate this. Given by how the chat seems to be popping, I reckon people have got the answer now, but I'm really not seeing it. I'm not understanding anything about this position. All I understand is that the Black King has weak dark squares and I don't see a way to exploit it. That's all I understand. That's all I understand. I don't know, I'd probably just play Queen c3. That looks like the best move. I mean, they play f6 and then I've probably got something, right? I don't know. Probably got something there. Maybe Queen c3. If they play f6, I just go knight takes f6. They go rook takes. I go bishop takes h6. If they take on h6, I go queen takes rook. And we have a knight coming in on g5. You know what? Let's just play that. Okay, there we go. Oh wait, what was my move? I said knight takes f6 here, right? Very knight takes f6 looks good, right? Rook takes, bishop takes h6, takes back with a queen. Looks very strong. But I'd hate to play this. Like, it feels like I have to be so precise. Bishop h6 doesn't feel like it's working. g5 is possible as well. But then they can just play h takes. I don't feel like it's too legit. I think taking on f6 needs to be better. Take on f6, rook takes bishop h6. They can play king f7 though, right? Takes on f6, rook takes bishop h7, king f6, king f7. But then we've got knight g5. My intuition tells me this is definitely winning. My intuition tells me this is absolutely winning here. But queen takes. What are we even threatening? Let's say they just play a move like knight g8 to kick our queen away. Oh, that would allow bishop queen h8. Yeah, it's winning. It has to be winning. Has to be winning. I don't even see how, but it has to be winning. Black cannot challenge white's queen. There are many ways to win among... Yeah, there we go. Bishop d7, queen f7. Yeah, like... I would never want to play this because the problem is I just don't trust my intuition enough, right? Like, I feel like in a blitz game, I would play this and be confident. In a classical game, there might be some crazy defense. Like, I don't know, bishop takes f2 and suddenly I'm not winning or something, some bullshit, you know? So, what did you guys think? Yeah, I did 200 and restarted the cycle, I see. I think it's actually an effective training technique. I mean, my actual online games are going terribly, but I think that is due to other factors, right? I mean, it also, with these things, it takes a lot of time for this to settle, right? Like, if you start, like, let's say, looking too tactically in your game, this might have negative effects, but your overall tactical ability will improve. So this is actually a common thing, where if you do a lot of training, your results might actually be worse, but when you take a bit of a break, and when you come back to it, everything is kind of, like, falling into place a bit better, and you'll realize you're just a better player, and then you'll just do better. So it is a bit like that. It does, like the gains in chess doesn't always show immediately. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. Because it's not like, let's say, studying for an exam where, let's say, you know, you revise the material, you take the exam, you can implement the material you revised for. This is more like you have to still play a game. And the thing is, when you play a game, there are so many factors that lead to you either winning or losing the game, right? So if you mess up your kind of like thought process in terms of playing the game, you may do worse, right? So for instance, for me, like when I was like 10 years ago, I was so much worse at chess, but my results weren't too dissimilar to my results right now. And that is only because like I'm still awaiting, you know, all of this kind of like chess knowledge and, you know, practice to kind of set in stone in a way that's going to make me win games. Like for sure, I have a higher potential right now than I did 10 years ago. That's definitely like an absolute. Let's finish with one final puzzle and then we'll call it a day. But yeah, like I think like I was kind of like optimizing my playing strength before and got to this level of 2000. Nowadays I feel like I'm I'm on the low end. I reckon I can do better. I can do much better, which is promising. Okay, we've got opposite color bishops. If we play... so I'm seeing ideas where, like, I don't know, we can... Like, if we play king d8 and I play bishop c6 to stop the promotion, there's, like, ideas of trying to play a6 and dislodge this bishop somehow. Like, trying to make that work. Like, for instance, if, let's say, the king could stay on c7 and bishop c6 was forced, then a6 they can't take because we take the bishop, right? So, how to make this work? Oh, can we Zugzwang them? Can we play king d7? Forcing bishop c6 and then go king d8? Then they move somewhere on this diagonal. We go back to c7, hitting the pawn. They have to go back to c6 and then we play a6. I think king d7 is the move. Does king d8 work as well? Bishop c6? We don't really have a move here. So I think we have to go king d7. Oh, that's so nice. It's so annoying. It's not the answer. Maybe we play this. Bishop c6 and then we just make a waiting move. Maybe that's the point as well. Make a waiting move and black is in some kind of Zugzwang. They move the bishop. And then we move back to c7. Yeah, I think that's probably going to work. I hate when chessable does this. Just give me the give me the mark and be done with it. I don't know. Oh, a6 immediately? Like, okay, so it's just a different theme altogether. Oh, and then if they take, then we can play king d7 and we stop bishop c6. Okay. Yeah, whatever. I mean, let's just double check that my move was also working. I mean, if it says alternative, it probably was winning as well. This king d7. Yeah, bishop c6. This is literally completely winning as well. And then king d8, bishop b5, king c7 back. Oh, and they can play bishop a6. Oh, that's scary. Ah, I didn't see that move. So maybe I did get this wrong. So how is actually white converting this then? King c8. Wow, and actually holding a draw. It might even be a weird kind of fortress. So then maybe you need to play king c7. But then the bishop can just go back. And then you've got a6 again. I see. So actually this is winning only because of this a6 plan. Oh man. That's annoying to get this wrong. Because I really don't have any excuse to get this one wrong. Like. This is annoying. Bishop c5 and bishop b5. What an idea to put the bishop on a6 like that. Kind of makes sense in some ways. But yeah, I think, guys, I'm going to call it a day there. Appreciate you guys all for tuning in. And oh, welcome, Lucas, to the stream. Didn't catch you there. f6 just g5. I don't think it was quite working. I love the feeling of solving puzzles, to be honest. I mean, for me, it's like, because I've had so much frustration with having to do it, just relieving that frustration is, like, satisfying, right? But I think compared to actually playing a game and putting together, like, a whole plan and outplaying your opponent, like, nothing can beat that for me. But it is, yeah, like, some people genuinely prefer just, like, solving puzzles and actually playing chess. It's really interesting. a6 king d7. Lucas, you got it. You got it. Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, it's more difficult to, like, give up this pawn. I don't know. For some reason, it felt more natural to play it the way I was playing. But I guess you've got this whole thing, like, long variation, wrong variation. And my variation was, like, a bit too long. And, like, I missed this bishop b5, bishop a6. So the longer it is, the more chance you miss something. So, yeah, this is a good lesson as well. But, okay. Exercise 290, we've made some progress. That's pretty nice. And yeah, I'm going to head off and see you guys all tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in. Adios.